I spent the first half of my life believing that I had no sexual desires whatsoever. I was 19, I was in college, and I was a virgin. More than that, I never so much as kissed anybody in my life. So on the last day of freshman year, a bunch of friends of mine wanted to go out and celebrate. We were in rural Missouri. We went down to Pine Street. We went to the fan club, the diviest dive bar in the middle of Missouri you could think about. And there was this girl there, and she wanted to dance. I thought, what the hell? So we started dancing. See, she was a junior, and she was a soccer player, and she was aggressive. Before I knew it, we were making out on the dance floor. I remember that Dave Matthews Band, What Would You Say, was playing overhead. And you see, I was obsessed with Dave Matthews Band. I had all their records, probably 100 bootlegs. I used to follow them around the country in the summer. It was the reason I picked up a guitar. I remember thinking, not only am I having my first kiss right now, but I am doing it the Dave Matthews Band. So I took her home. Well, almost. We had a detour and we stopped. And soon after, we were making out and just going at it on the kiddie playground on a plastic slide. And I'm thinking this is a wonderful experience. Not so much because I'm into it, but because it's supposed to be what I'm supposed to be doing. It's one of these experiences that makes me normal. Then she goes to take off my belt. And I look at her in the most calm way possible and I say to her, I am not having sex with you. And this is one of those moments where you realize just how not normal you are. You see, I was making out when we were doing all this stuff, but for me, nothing. It was doing nothing for me. And so I wondered, am I gay? Could I just be gay? But that didn't seem to make much sense either. You see, I was an athlete my whole life. I was still wrestling through college. And so I'm not exaggerating when I say that on weekends at tournaments, I would stand around a multi-purpose building with 218 to 22-year-old Midwestern earnest men with the fittest bodies you would ever see in your life, the most beautiful specimens. And nothing. It did absolutely nothing for me. So I got to think about what my life was going to be like. I was going to move on and teach social studies and probably be a wrestling coach and move back to Wisconsin. And it just seemed like the most suffocating, boring life I could ever have in life. It was horrible. And so one morning I was laying in bed thinking about how miserable the rest of my life would be, and it came to me. I should just be a priest. Yeah, that would be amazing. I could do cool things. I could experience new experiences, and people wouldn't think I was strange for not having a wife and kids and doing all these other normal things. In fact, they would look up to me. They would put me on a pedestal for it. Perfect. So I packed my bags, I moved to Washington, D.C., and I joined the Catholic seminary. But this is where things got tricky. You see, I had this classmate, Matthew. He was a statistician. He was 44. He was quirky and goofy and hairy, and he was fat. And he was, apparently, all of the things that I'm into. And I remember we had this assignment to research something on the New Testament, and we woke up and we grabbed our materials and we walked out to this common room in our pajamas. And we were in this room up in Northeast D.C. In a castle, in one of these structures that's built for seminaries in the 1920s, not in the 2000s. And we picked this room with glass walls and a glass door and a drop ceiling and fluorescent lights and uncomfortable tables and chairs and bookshelves surrounding the entire room full of Bibles and prayer books. And we started studying. And I don't know what happened next, but the next thing I remember is we are on the floor making out, going at it. And again, we are in our pajamas, so you can feel the crevice of everything going on. And we're guys as well, so there's a whole other element. And you know what? This was finally doing something for me. About 10 minutes later, we realized that we were in a public place and that we were in a Catholic seminary and that we should probably move, so we picked up our bags. We went back to our rooms and we pretended that nothing happened. But it was beautiful. We fell in love. We made love. Well, kind of. it'd go a little something like this. I'd be getting ready for bed, and I'd hear a knock on the door, and it'd be Matthew, and he'd come in and tell me he was lonely or scared or sick or something, and he wanted to be held. I'd say, cool, let's do that. And so I'd hold him, and then we'd start petting each other, and then we'd start kissing, and then he would take off my shirt, and then he would take off my pants, and then I would unbutton his shirt, and I would go to take off his shirt, and he would freak the fuck out, put back on his shirt, grab his shoes, and run away as quick as possible. You see, he was older. He knew he was gay, and he was very uncomfortable with that. That was a big reason why he was in seminary. I was 24, and I was feeling these emotions for the first time in my life. I was having a crush for the first time in my life. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was great. I was no longer an emotional robot. I was all of a sudden a part of the human race. I was just gay, and that was a relief. And I know it's strange to say that just being gay is a relief, but to be honest, being asexual is much stranger than being gay. I can at least find myself being a part of a community now. I was looking for beauty where everybody else was telling me beauty would be, instead of finding it in the place where I saw beauty. Obviously, I left seminary. That was not the place for me. And I'm happy to report that I now have my own big, burly, handsome, hairy husband of my own. And I think we're going to sing a song about it, because I'm known for my love of... There we go. Some people think they got it right. They tell me just what I will like. A tight waist, a smooth face, daily exfoliates, but they don't know me. Cause it's theirs got the best of me, said theirs on my fantasy, said theirs in what I like to do it all night, alright. Theirs don't discriminate, I take a coverage of the circumnavigate, steal my hump and let it percolate all night, alright. I won't explain why it's what I like, and no, you can't take me out tonight. It takes some hats to rock this bad, and you ain't got none. Cause it's theirs got the best of me, said theirs on my fantasy, said theirs in what I like to do all night, alright. Theirs that don't discriminate, I take a coverage up, circumnavigate, steal my hump and let it percolate all night, alright. What I'm searching for is deeper. Trim away the fur and see it all. And see love. That's my sexy pose. Cause it's theirs got the best of me, said theirs on my fantasy, said theirs in what I like to do all night, alright. Theirs that don't discriminate, I take a coverage up, circumnavigate, steal my hump and let it percolate all night, alright. I lay my head down, lay at night, those burly arms so around me tight. My lumberjack is where it's at, now go and get yours. I love the signs for some of these words. It's theirs got the best of me, said theirs on my fantasy, said theirs in what I like to do all night, alright. Theirs that don't discriminate, I take a coverage up, circumnavigate, steal my hump and let it percolate all night, alright. Theirs got the best of me, said theirs on my fantasy, said theirs in what I like to do all night, alright. Theirs that don't discriminate, I take a coverage up, circumnavigate, steal my hump and let it percolate all night, alright. Theirs. Thank you.